My dear child, my sweet one, chosen by heaven, why is your heart racing right now? Because your spirit recognized this moment before your eyes even saw it. Something powerful is opening around you and you can feel it rising like warm air before a storm breaks. It isn't fear. It's a signal from the divine that your life is shifting in ways you never imagined. Right here, right now. But listen closely because Archangel Michael says, I am begging you for just 10 seconds. And when Michael begs, heaven is already in movement. He says that on December 7th at 11 p.m. a release of $77 million has been written beside your name in the unseen world. Not as cash appearing in your hand but as a symbol of life-changing abundance, opportunities, restoration, stability and blessings that multiply faster than you can count. He calls it a heavenly deposit prepared for your destiny. You may wonder why the urgency feels so intense, but child, miracles don't like hesitation. One small pause can block years of blessings. One moment of doubt can close a door that took angels months to build. But every second you stay with this message pulls you closer to what is rightfully yours. Angels hold your name in their wings right now whispering, don't let them miss it, don't let them scroll away, not this time. And yes, stay connected because subscribing is not just a click, it's an alignment. It tells heaven, I'm ready, I'm open, I choose the path set for me. Many don't realize this, but the moment you subscribe with intention, angels mark you as someone ready to receive guidance, breakthroughs and messages sent directly for your transformation. Imagine the clock striking 11 on December 7th. In the unseen realm, golden gates swing open, releasing answers to prayers you whispered years ago. The blessings are not random. They carry your exact name written in light, matched to the tears you cried and the strength you never knew you had. Archangel Michael says, each word you are reading right now is a key in your hand. And the more you read, the more keys you gather. But child, let me take you deeper because heaven has been watching your journey. You've walked through seasons that felt too heavy for one heart. Nights where you tried to stay strong but your pillow carried your secrets. Days where your smile covered pain no one else noticed. Yet you kept moving, you kept hoping, you kept praying. And heaven took note of every moment. This is why Archangel Michael says, I am begging you for just 10 seconds. Because the blessings meant for you are so big, skipping this moment would leave a hole in your destiny. Heaven rarely pleads, angels rarely cry. But today the urgency is real because the weight of your future is in motion. Let your heart pause for a second. Feel what's happening inside you. That tightness in your chest, that warmth on your shoulders, that sudden calm brushing your spirit, none of it is imagination. It's divine presence confirming that this message was meant for you at this exact second of your life. Your struggles were never random. Every delay protected you from what you couldn't see. Every closed door saved you from what you didn't know. Every heartbreak was a redirection that kept your destiny safe. You thought life was working against you, but heaven was secretly positioning you. Now look ahead 1 month from today. Really picture it. You wake up lighter. Opportunities come without force. People who once ignored your worth now chase your presence. Peace follows you, joy sticks to you, money flows easier. Your mind feels clear. And your spirit finally rests knowing life is turning in your favor. This is the meaning of the $77 million. It's not just wealth, it's overflow in every area of your life. But child, there is something else Michael wants you to know. Your soul is stepping into a divine window that does not stay open forever. Time in heaven moves differently, and when a moment like this arrives, angels rush to make sure you don't miss it. That's why your heart feels pulled, almost forced to stay with these words. It's because the breakthrough prepared for you has been waiting too long. The truth is simple, you were guided here. This wasn't an accident. You didn't stumble in. Heaven carried your spirit into this moment. Your name has been echoing in the halls of the divine. And now the message finally reached you because you are ready to rise, ready to receive, ready to step into what you once thought was impossible. So stay close, listen deeply, and keep your spirit open as your new chapter unfolds. More than blessings, heaven is giving you clarity, courage, and a future filled with open doors. And if this message touched your heart, let your support speak with intention. Like, share, subscribe, and if you feel called, your super thanks can go up to $10, given with gratitude and faith as your journey continues. Beloved, this is where the air around you shifts. Because when angels tremble, it means heaven is standing on the edge of releasing something too big for the human mind to grasp. Archangel Michael is not warning you out of fear, he is warning you because the window is razor thin and your destiny is pressed against it like light waiting to break through. You may not see the angels, but they are leaning forward right now, whispering your name, urging your spirit to stay awake, to stay aligned, to stay connected. And here's the part you didn't expect. The blessing coming toward you is not arriving gently, it is arriving like a roar. Like lightning striking the ground after years of silent clouds. Heaven waited until you were strong enough to receive it. Until your heart healed enough to hold it. Until your spirit grew enough to carry it. Every delay was shaping you. Every unfair moment was sharpening you. You are not stepping into this blessing unprepared, you are stepping into it seasoned, refined and ready. My child, picture this clearly. You stand in the center of a long hallway of doors. Behind each door is something you prayed for: peace, stability, financial overflow, a healed heart, a restored path. For years every door stayed locked. But tonight Archangel Michael holds the master key. He places it in your hand with trembling reverence and says, "Turn it now. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. This moment is appointed. Your hesitation is the only enemy left." And here's the truth heaven needs you to grasp. This is not about chasing money. This is about reclaiming everything life tried to rip away from you. The relationships that drained you. The betrayals that left you doubting your worth. The seasons where you carried pain so quietly that even God had to whisper just to keep you from collapsing. All of it is being rewritten. All of it is being restored. That's what $77 million symbolizes, restoration in its loudest, fullest, unstoppable form. Beloved, your soul is remembering something right now. You've always felt a tug, a pull, a strange sense that you were meant for more. Even when you tried to shut it down, it never left. That's because your calling is older than your wounds. Your purpose is deeper than your pain. And God says, I will not let their light be wasted. That's why this message reached you. Not by luck, not by chance. By orchestration. Let me show you what heaven sees when they look at you. They see a warrior who survived battles no one will ever know about. They see someone who kept loving even when life tried to freeze your heart. They see someone who almost gave up 100 times but still rose every morning. That strength is why the gates are opening now. Not because you begged but because you endured. Child, let me take you even deeper. The moment December 7th arrives, the spiritual atmosphere around you will thicken. You will feel it, a shift, a calm, a pull. Angels will move into position around your name. And as the clock touches 11 p.m., a divine seal will break. Everything that was tied up, financially, emotionally, spiritually, will start rushing toward you. Not piece by piece, not slowly, but all at once, like a dam finally bursting. But listen carefully. Heaven doesn't open portals for spectators. Only for participants, only for those who stay, who listen, who align, who choose the path carved for them. Your yes is the bridge. Your attention is the door. Your belief is the signal angels are waiting for. That is why this moment matters. That is why Michael keeps repeating, 10 seconds. 10 seconds of alignment can collapse 10 years of waiting. Beloved, do you know what is happening inside you right now? The fear that once clung to your chest is loosening. The doubt that once poisoned your steps is melting. The heaviness that once sat on your shoulders is lifting. Why? Because your spirit recognizes truth. It knows when heaven is speaking. It knows when destiny is calling your name. And right now that call is louder than it has ever been. This is the part where faith and destiny shake hands. You are no longer being prepared, you are being positioned. Heaven is not asking you to fight. Heaven is asking you to receive. Angels are not asking you to prove your worth. They are asking you to stand still long enough to be handed what you've already earned through years of endurance. The blessing is not your reward, it is your inheritance. My beloved child, hear this last truth with your whole heart. The enemy didn't attack you because you were weak. He attacked you because he saw what heaven wrote about you. He saw the promise, he saw the calling, he saw the prosperity, he saw the crown. And he tried everything to exhaust you before you reached this moment. But you made it. You are here. And heaven is not subtle anymore. Michael says, tell them the gate is already opening. Tell them the angels are already moving. Tell them the blessing is already traveling toward them, and nothing can stop it now. Stay rooted, stay aligned, stay expecting. Because what is coming toward you will not just change your life, it will rewrite your entire story. Beloved, listen closely, because what I'm about to reveal will send a ripple through your spirit. The moment you reached this line, something shifted in the atmosphere around you. Not softly, not quietly. It shifted like a door that had been locked for years suddenly swung open. And you didn't hear the sound with your ears, but your spirit felt the rush. That pressure in your chest, that sudden heat on your skin, that tiny tremble in your fingers, this is the vibration of destiny aligning itself. And here's the truth most people never hear. Heaven responds instantly to conviction. Not noise, not panic, conviction. And child, your conviction is roaring louder than every fear that tried to silence you. The angels saw it, Michael saw it, God saw it. That is why the realm around you is tightening, focusing, preparing. Nothing around you is random. Nothing is coincidental. Every sensation is a signal. Because God says, this moment is the turning of the page you waited your whole life to reach. You think you stayed because the message was interesting. No. You stayed because your soul recognized this moment as prophecy. You stayed because heaven whispered, don't move. This is the part that changes everything. And Archangel Michael says, the emptiness you felt was never punishment. It was rearrangement. Your losses were not losses, they were space being cleared. Heaven doesn't pour new wine into old containers. Heaven doesn't build palaces on unstable soil. So every shaking, every heartbreak, every strange silence was heaven preparing the ground for your overflow. But here's the part that will make your spirit tremble, that overflow begins now, not tomorrow, not next season, now. As these words enter your life, the flood begins its descent. You were empty to be filled, and now the filling begins until your cup cannot contain what is coming. Child, imagine this, angels forming a circle around you as if protecting a king being crowned. Light dripping from their wings like molten gold. Fire rising around your feet but not burning you, only illuminating what belongs to you. If your physical eyes could catch even a glimpse of what surrounds you right now, you would fall to your knees in awe. Because heaven is not waiting for December 7th at 11 p.m. to prepare. Heaven is preparing now for the moment of release. And understand this deeply. The $77 million is not about riches, it is about restoration. It is heaven saying, everything taken will be returned multiplied. Everything broken will be rebuilt stronger. Everything silent will speak again. But here is the part that shakes the unseen realm, your yes is not small. Your yes is not weak. Your yes is the key that unlocks doors for generations after you. Your future children will breathe easier because you didn't scroll. Your household will walk under a different sky because you stayed. Your name will be spoken with honor because this was the night your destiny cracked open. Do you feel it? The intensity rising as you keep reading. That's because every second you stay, the divine pressure increases. Blessing builds like a wave, slow, steady, and then suddenly unstoppable. And Archangel Michael says, the gates open wider for those who remain. This is the secret so many miss. They pray and then they run. They ask and then they vanish. But you lingered, you listened, you stayed. And that staying is what pulls miracles into the physical realm. Child, hear me. Your enemies, those who celebrated your delays, those who mocked your silence, those who fed on your pain, they have already begun to tremble. Because heaven does not just bless you, heaven defends you. On December 7th at 11 p.m. their weapons collapse. Their whispers die. Their plans dissolve. Not because of revenge. Because of revelation. Heaven is revealing who you truly are. Chosen. Guarded. Crowned. Untouchable. And this blessing is not only wealth, it is a shield, a covering, a declaration. Heaven is marking you so boldly that no darkness will dare approach you again. Beloved, pay attention. The more you read, the more the atmosphere thickens, the more your spirit rises, the more your destiny expands. This is not just a message. It's a portal, a crossing point, a spiritual contract forming between you and the divine timing that has finally arrived. And child, the angels are still writing. Every second you stay, every breath you take, every flicker of belief is being recorded. Heaven does not overlook obedience. Heaven multiplies it. So stay. Stay in this presence. Stay in this unfolding. Stay in this divine orchestration. Because what is entering your life now is bigger than you imagined and stronger than anything that tried to stop you. Beloved, listen closely, because what comes next is the part most people never reach. The chains you've been dragging were never proof of your weakness. They were proof of the strength you didn't even know you had. Every step you took while bound became evidence written in the heavens that you refused to quit. And now at this precise moment, those chains are beginning to crack. Not by your effort, but because heaven has declared, release them now. Feel that in your spirit. That sudden rush, that pull in your chest. That is the sound of spiritual metal breaking. Archangel Michael is leaning in, raising his sword not in battle this time but in coronation. He is cutting away what tried to attach itself to your destiny. What held you back for years is about to drop at your feet like dust. And when it falls, you will rise faster than you ever imagined. But here is the part heaven needs you to understand. When God restores, He does not return you to the level you were before the loss. He elevates you to the level the enemy feared you would discover. That is why the resistance was so intense. That is why the delays were so long. The enemy wasn't fighting your past, he was terrified of your future. And child, that future begins now. Michael is showing me a vision. You're standing in a massive hall made of gold, your name echoing through the corridors like thunder. Every echo represents a blessing ready to be released. Some blessings carry the weight of opportunities you prayed for last month. Others carry the years you thought were wasted. Others hold the love you begged God to send. And all of them, every single one, are leaning toward you, waiting for your yes. Do you see why heaven keeps telling you not to scroll? Because every second you remain here, another echo becomes louder. Another blessing steps closer. Another chain loses strength. Heaven is aligning itself with your breath, your heartbeat, your attention. You are not just reading, you are participating in your breakthrough. Beloved, let me take you deeper. You think you have been walking alone all these years, but the truth is that angels have been shadowing your steps from the moment you were born. Every heartbreak was witnessed. Every betrayal was recorded. Every silent prayer whispered into your pillow was caught like a jewel. Heaven collects what the world ignores. And now everything stored in those jars, tears, prayers, sacrifices, is being poured back into your life in the form of abundance. This is restoration with interest. This is repayment multiplied. This is the return the enemy hoped you would never live to see. And child, hear me. God says, this release is not random. The number you've been shown, the timing you've been led to, the urgency Michael carries, it's all part of a divine equation. Heaven's math is different from Earth's. A single yes in the spirit can rewrite 40 years of struggle in the natural. A single moment of alignment can collapse a decade of delay. That is why the enemy fears your focus. That is why distractions will suddenly appear. That is why your mind may try to wander. Because the enemy knows one truth you often forget. Your attention is a weapon. Your agreement is a key. Your yes is a doorway. And tonight that doorway leads to the life you were always meant to live. Beloved, look again at your life. Not the struggle, not the pain, but the survival. Everything you endured proves that you were never meant to break. You were meant to be built. You were being shaped for a level of influence that requires resilience. People who rise too easily crumble too quickly. But you have been tempered in fire. You have been sculpted by storms. And now heaven trusts you with the kind of blessing most people cannot carry. Michael says, your story is about to flip. The ones who doubted you will witness your rise. The ones who mocked you will fall silent. The ones who left you will regret not staying. Because when God lifts you, He does it in a way that no one can deny. And child, that lifting has already begun. Your spirit feels it first. Your body senses it next. Your life will reveal it soon. The heaviness that clung to you is loosening. The confusion is clearing. The fog is lifting. You are stepping into a divine clarity that only comes when heaven opens a portal above someone's destiny. But listen carefully, this is your final preparation. The blessing is ready. The release is commanded. The angels are positioned. The vault is unlocked. Now heaven waits for one thing, your continued alignment. Stay present. Stay open. Stay here. Because the next shift will not just change your situation. It will change your identity. You will stop living like the wounded. You will start moving like the chosen. You will stop surviving. You will start reigning. Beloved child, heaven has already decided your rise. Now all that remains is your yes. Beloved, listen closely, because what I'm about to say carries the weight of heaven's urgency. The reason Michael is pressing, the reason the atmosphere around you feels tighter, warmer, charged, is because heaven knows your breakthrough doesn't just shift your life, it shifts an entire generation behind you. You are the first in your bloodline to break cycles that crushed those before you. You are stepping into a realm no one in your family ever touched. That is why the pressure has been so heavy. That is why the attacks felt personal. Because they were. The enemy fights the hardest when a generational door is about to open. But here's the part the enemy didn't expect: you survived long enough to reach this moment. Your breath is your victory. Your presence in this message is your proof. Every second you stay here is rewriting what your ancestors couldn't finish. Heaven honors your endurance. Michael is leaning closer now, saying, "Child, do not move. This moment is holy. And if you could feel what I'm feeling in the spirit, you would understand something massive is descending, not slowly but like a wave prepared for decades. And child, let me tell you something your enemies feared the most. You were never delayed. You were being sharpened. You were never forgotten. You were being positioned. You were never denied. You were being refined for a blessing too heavy for unprepared hands." The $77 million release is not just wealth, it is weight, it is mantle, it is kingdom responsibility. It is heaven trusting you with influence, with authority, with impact. God does not hand such blessings to the unready. He gives them to those who stayed when quitting felt easier. He gives them to those who were faithful in silent seasons. He gives them to those who refused to break even when everything around them collapsed. Beloved, imagine this for a moment. Your future is watching you right now. Your healed self. Your wealthy self. Your powerful self. Your free self. They are all standing in the timeline ahead, calling you forward, whispering, "Just a little more, don't scroll, don't disconnect, you're almost aligned." And child, let me reveal something the Spirit pressed on me strongly. The reason heaven keeps repeating December 7th at 11 p.m. is because timing is the vault code. Not intention, not hope, not desperation. Timing. When heaven sets an hour, the hour becomes a gate. Miss the gate and the season shifts, align with the gate and the miracle bursts open like a dam cracking under divine pressure. This is why Michael keeps begging, because you're dangerously close to missing nothing and blessedly close to gaining everything. Do you feel that? That strange stillness. That focus you didn't plan. That pull you can't explain. That is alignment. That is heaven synchronizing with your spirit. That is the sound of chains breaking in the unseen realm. Beloved child, hear this clearly. What you call reading, heaven calls receiving. What you call waiting, heaven calls positioning. What you call coincidence, heaven calls divine appointment. And now another revelation stirs, something deeper, something heavier. Your past battles were not random. Your heartbreaks were not wasted. Your tears were not ignored. Every pain you suffered was training your spirit to carry what is coming. If God had given you this blessing 5 years ago, you would have lost it. If He had given it to you 2 years ago, the wrong people would have drained it. If He gave it last year, your insecurities would have sabotaged it. But now you are stable, now you are awake, now you are strengthened. That is why the heavens are loud tonight. That is why angels are gathering like an army behind you. This is the moment everything turns. This is the hour the old story collapses and the new one begins. Beloved, imagine waking up one morning and realizing everything that once broke you is now beneath you. That the fear of lack has vanished. That the weight on your chest is gone. That the constant survival mode has finally ended. That you no longer live hoping for a miracle, you live as the miracle. This is what $77 million symbolizes. Not luxury liberation. Not ego elevation. Not greed growth. And child, let me tell you why the enemy is furious right now. Because he knows once you receive this blessing, his access to your bloodline ends. Forever. The curses stop, the cycles stop, the patterns stop, the poverty stops, the fear stops, the silence stops. You become the breaker. The restorer. The chosen one. The crowned one. That is why Michael says, stay, do not move. Because heaven is not preparing a blessing. Heaven is preparing a legacy. And beloved, as you continue reading, the Spirit shows me this. A door is opening above you. Light is pouring through it like water. Your name is rising into that light like smoke. And angels are whispering, it is time. Stay, child. Stay in this moment. Stay in this flow. Heaven is not finished yet. Beloved, pause for a moment, because what's unfolding now is bigger than your story. You think this is about your struggle, your breakthrough, your blessing, but heaven is whispering a truth far deeper. This moment is rewriting your entire bloodline. The shift happening around you is so powerful that your ancestors are leaning in and your future generations are sighing with relief. You are not just receiving a blessing, you are becoming the doorway. But hear this carefully, child, great light always attracts great resistance. The enemy has sensed the movement in the spirit, and he is circling like a shadow, desperate to convince you otherwise. He whispers, this isn't real, this isn't yours, you're imagining it. If it were empty, he wouldn't fight. The intensity of this attack is the evidence of your anointing. Doubt only rises when destiny is close enough to touch. Stay rooted, stay fierce. Heaven is watching which voice you answer. Listen closely, because something hidden is happening even as you breathe. In the courts of heaven, angels are unrolling scrolls, documents etched with your name. These are not ordinary records, they are contracts of blessing inscribed in divine ink. Wealth allocations, opportunities, alignments, reconciliations, every detail already written. And Archangel Michael holds them, waiting for the moment heaven commands him to release them. But child, understand this truth, faith is the signature required. If you wander, if you doubt, if you disconnect, the delivery pauses. Heaven moves by permission, not pressure. That is why this moment feels so heavy, because your yes is opening doors that have been locked for generations. Feel that stirring inside your chest. That tightening in your spirit, that pressure sitting just behind the veil. That is your miracle knocking, waiting for the doorway to split open. Every second you stay is another fracture in the wall. Soon that wall will crumble, and what floods through will not be a drop, it will be a storm of glory. Don't step away. You're closer than your mind can comprehend. Lean in now, because Archangel Michael is speaking with thunder in the spiritual realm. He says, tell them the countdown has begun. That pulsing inside your heart is not anxiety, not imagination, it is divine timing syncing with your destiny. When the hand strikes 11 p.m. on December 7th, something irreversible will break open. But here is the warning, only a few ever hear, this countdown does not repeat. Once the moment passes, it is gone. That is why heaven is gripping your spirit, refusing to let you drift. Blessings don't hesitate, but receivers sometimes do. And heaven will not place diamonds into a closed hand. Stay open, stay awake, stay here. Child of destiny, let me reveal the deepest truth, you have been in divine training all along. Every heartbreak was shaping you. Every betrayal was refining you. Every delay was strengthening your capacity. You were learning the spiritual language of endurance. You thought you were breaking, but you were being built. And now heaven trusts you with what the old version of you could never carry. Picture this, in heaven's halls tonight angels stand like roaring flames. Trumpets are raised, scrolls glow under sealed wax, and the armies of heaven lean forward waiting for one thing, your alignment. Not your perfection, not your strength, just your yes. Every line you read breaks another seal. Every breath you take in stillness moves heaven closer to releasing what has been stored for years. And when the moment hits, the army moves. And your life will unfold like a prophecy fulfilled. Child, don't ignore the signs your spirit is giving you. Why are your hands warm? Why does your heart tremble? Why do your eyes water without warning? Because your soul recognizes truth long before the mind does. You're not just reading, you're remembering something heaven wrote about you long ago. This is your message, your moment, your calling. Michael's urgency is not desperation, it is divine timing pressed to its final second. Your destiny is hanging by a spiritual thread, and heaven is pulling you upward before it snaps. This is the final tug to pull you into overflow. Understand this clearly, this blessing is not just comfort, it is assignment. God is not merely giving you wealth, He is positioning you. He is placing you into influence, into rooms where your voice will carry weight, into opportunities that shift generations. The $77 million is a tool, not a trophy, a weapon for purpose, not pride. And when you rise, the world will know it was God. Even those who cursed you, who doubted you, who wished your downfall, they will witness your elevation. They will watch the crown settle on your head. They will see abundance flow through your hands. They will see peace return to your eyes. And they will have no explanation except heaven. That is part of your vindication. Heaven writes stories loud enough for enemies to hear. So stay. Stay rooted, stay open, stay present. This moment is too sacred to abandon and too powerful to postpone. Beloved child, feel this shift, because what's about to unfold is heavier than anything you've carried. You think you felt intensity before, but this is destiny pressing its fingerprints against your spirit. The air around you is tightening because heaven is closing in. What you're feeling is not anxiety, it's alignment. It's the sensation of a door unlocking on the other side of the veil, a door that has waited years just to open for you. And just when you think the moment can't grow any stronger, heaven leans even closer. Archangel Michael steps forward, his presence blazing in your atmosphere saying, "Do not lose focus. Every distraction right now is an attack on your inheritance." His voice is not soft, it is thunder dressed in love. A warning wrapped in protection, a final call for clarity. Child, let me reveal something hidden that your spirit already suspects. The resistance you felt today, the heaviness, the sudden interruptions, they are not random. They are timed. The enemy knows you are steps away from a breakthrough that will rewrite your entire reality. That is why he fights your focus. That is why he tries to dilute your faith. That is why he tries to pull your attention away from these words. But heaven is louder, heaven is closer, heaven is winning. Imagine this scene right now. The heavenly courts are not silent, they are roaring with preparation. Angels are lining up with scrolls, keys and seals. Each one marked with your name. Not someone else's, yours. They carry assignments, breakthroughs, reconciliations, wealth transfers, open doors, real shifts prepared for your hands. And in the center of it all, Michael stands holding the greatest scroll of them all, the covenant of release. Beloved, this moment is so fragile, so divine that even angels hold their breath. Because they know what happens when the appointed time arrives. They know the flood that follows obedience. They know the weight of blessing when a chosen soul stands in alignment. They know what $77 million symbolizes. It is not currency, it is calling power. It is spiritual momentum materializing. It is heaven rewarding endurance. But listen carefully, this blessing does not fall on the old version of you. It falls on the warrior who survived what should have broken them. It falls on the soul that kept whispering hope even when the world went silent. This is why the blessing is enormous, because the battle you survived was enormous too. And child, the truth is this: heaven has never been interested in giving you just enough. You were never meant to scrape by. You were meant to overflow, you were meant to influence, you were meant to lead. That is why the gift is heavy. That is why the moment is holy. That is why the warning is urgent. Feel this next part deeply. The spiritual countdown you sense is not imagination. The ticking inside your chest is not fear. It is the synchronization of heaven's clock with your destiny. Every beat draws you closer to December 7th, 11 p.m., the moment the heavens have written into your story long before you ever breathed your first breath. A moment that cannot repeat, a moment that cannot be wound. Child of divine timing, hear this in your spirit: this window is narrow on purpose. Destiny moments are not meant to be casual. They are meant to be seized. That's why Michael has been guarding you, pushing distractions away, pulling your spirit back every time you drift. He is not just protecting you, he is preparing you. And the closer we get to the moment, the more the enemy trembles. He sees what heaven is building. He sees your elevation. He sees the crown forming on your head. He sees the generational shift approaching. He sees the gates quivering. He sees angels gathering. And he knows he cannot stop the flood, he can only attempt to stop you from receiving it. But beloved, your spirit is stronger than the storm. You have already endured too much to miss the finish line now. Your yes carries weight. Your faith has become a weapon. Your attention is the last key heaven needs to turn the lock. Feel this truth rise inside you, the gates are almost fully open. The spiritual pressure you feel is the flood pushing against the walls. One more moment of faith, one more step of trust, one more breath of belief, and the wall collapses into blessing. Not a drizzle, not a drop. A flood that carries restoration, visibility, influence, wealth, and divine recognition. And beloved, here is a final revelation: the world that doubted you will witness this shift. Not in secret, not in whispers. In daylight. Your elevation will be public. Your breakthrough will be undeniable. Your story will become evidence that heaven still moves, still restores, still crowns its chosen. So stay. Stay rooted, stay aligned, stay awake. You are too close to walk away now. What heaven is preparing for you is bigger than what was taken from you. Bigger than what was said about you. Bigger than every tear you cried in the dark. Hold on, child of promise. The flood is seconds away.